So what have you heard about Bitcoin?
Just it's the worst thing that you could invest your money in, and basically it's a rip-off.
Okay, where did you hear that?
Social media and family members and so forth, and it doesn't get a good rating. It's the worst investment you could ever try to do.
Okay. Would you kind of concur with that? Have you heard similar things, or have you heard different things?
I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about Bitcoin at all.
Okay, but you've heard about it, you've seen it in the news.
I heard about Bitcoin in the news, and Michelle Moon did a bit Bitcoin, but that's about it.
But you wouldn't invest.
Okay.
No.
So why do you think people tell you that it's a really bad idea? Why do you think there's that negativity around it? Any ideas at all?
I'm just going by what I've read and what I've heard, and it's not something. I've heard once you invest your money in it, it's very hard to get your money back.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy. You can buy it on an exchange, sell it on an exchange.
I wouldn't dabble in it.
You wouldn't dabble in it. And what is it that scares you about it, or puts you off?
I would far rather know I've got my money invested somewhere that's safe.
Okay, so you'd rather hold pounds than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hopefully you've maybe changed our thoughts on it.
Well, that'd be great. I mean, I'm not trying to change. I'm just trying to kind of get the word out there and report back on like what the general view of it is. So that's been really helpful.
Well, there's been a lot of celebrities that have been falsely attached to Bitcoin, and they have said, don't touch it with a barge pole because it's not them that say, they've nothing to do with it. So basically they're saying don't touch it.
I'll have
So
to contact Martin Lewis and see what he thinks.
see Martin
Lewis is a good guy. I'm a big fan of Martin Lewis. I think he really cares about just normal people, you and me. And he's kind of neutral on Bitcoin. He says be careful. He's certainly not anti-Bitcoin. If you're watching Martin, we've got some fans here. But I think he's pretty much out there to protect us. His view is that if you buy some, fine, but make a small investment. Don't put all your money in it, like general advice. And that the thing is that some people use Bitcoin to scam, right? But I can scam you out of pounds, or I can scam you out of anything. I can say, oh, send me pounds or send me dollars or buy me a car and send it. But Bitcoin is no different. It's a neutral money, a neutral asset which can't be printed, can't be manipulated by governments, and can't be seized. So like in Canada, the Canadian government seized a lot of people's money from their banks. I don't know if you heard about that in the news. But that's something else that happened, and Bitcoin as well can't be seized. It's just like neutral money, kind of like digital gold, really.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, good. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for the information you've given us.
What is Bitcoin?
I don't think it's something that you can hold. I think it exists. It's an entity which exists out with a physical presence.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's like digital money or digital gold. What have you heard about it? Anything to add there?
I was going to say, I knew it was a digital currency, yeah, generated by PCs.
Yeah, kind of. The network is secured by computers, which is called the Bitcoin mining. They kind of secure the network. Have either of you ever bought any or been interested in buying any yourself at all?
I have no interest in purchasing or creating Bitcoin.
No, what about you?
I've always thought it was too risky, but I could be wrong.
Okay, yeah, interesting. And yeah, you're not alone in that. Lots of people think it's risky, probably because of the volatility in the price, right? It goes up and down a lot. So would you say that's what put you off?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Do you know the problem that Bitcoin is trying to solve? Like, why does Bitcoin exist?
Well, I've always assumed it was a vehicle for chancers.
Yeah, like, I guess there are three properties of money, right? Store of value, medium of exchange, which is what you said there, and then a unit of account. So you can price things in Bitcoin, or you can price things in pounds or dollars or euros. The inflation rate of Bitcoin at the moment is about 2% a year, which is the same as gold. Whereas the inflation rate of US dollars, for example, is about 20% a year. So 40% of all US dollars, world reserve currency, have been created in the last 2 years. That's quite a big inflation rate, right? So the idea of Bitcoin is that it's the most predictable monetary network, monetary policy in the world. So that's kind of why people are drawn to it. Yeah. Any thoughts? I'm doing a lot of talking here, but I want to get your thoughts.
I didn't realize there was a finite amount of it. I didn't realize there was a degree of predictability. I mean, my view of Bitcoin is coloured by the fact that I sometimes game on a PC, and I can't buy a graphics card for anything under like 150% of RRP, and B, there's a lot of chat about the environmental costs of the the activities that generate Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Or the environmental costs of mining, to be specific. Is that
Yeah, that's a totally fair comment. Yeah, the mine. There's 2 points there. We'll take the second one first. So, the Bitcoin mining does use a lot of energy. It uses about 0.5% of the world's energy. Right, that's quite a lot, isn't it?
I think that's immense,
And
isn't it?
yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. And the question is like, is it worth it? Like, how much of the world's energy are used by clothes dryers in the US? Like more than 0.5%. Right, Christmas lights in the US, more than 0.5%.
I mean, to be honest, all of the things you said are much more positive arguments in favour of Bitcoin than I've ever heard. And you're right in the sense that I didn't understand. I didn't know that you couldn't quantitatively ease with Bitcoin, which is what has happened with like all the other currencies globally. However, not being able to buy a video card for my games on my PC really hacks me off, and it's been going on and on for years and years now. And that to say that colours my view of Bitcoin would be a gigantic understatement.
Are you suggesting it's more equitable to have Bitcoin rather than currency?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, personally, I would much rather hold Bitcoin in my savings than pounds, because pounds, by definition, by design, they're designed to lose purchasing power over time, right? It's what we call inflation. So central banks and governments, they target whether it's 2% or 3% or 4%, 5% inflation. At the moment, it's like 7 or 8%, right? You've seen it in the news. America, it's 7.9%, and that's the figure they give you. It's actually, I would argue, it's actually higher because they choose all the things that they want to include in that basket. So would you rather hold pounds as savings, which are guaranteed to buy you less next year and the year after, or Bitcoin, which historically has been able to buy you more and more and more over the long term? Obviously, it goes up and down, but it goes from 1 to 10 back to 5 to 100 to 50 to 200 to 100, right? Like it's been the best performing asset of the last decade by an absolute mile, and it's still only valued at less than $1 trillion. Just the gold market alone is worth 12 trillion. So it's got a long way to go, I think.
I think I don't know enough about it, and there's an element of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Which is perhaps too risky for me personally.
It's about education, isn't it? And it's about doing the work. I mean, you might gather I've spent a lot of time learning about this. It's my thing. This is what I do. I go to cities. I've been to London, Oxford, Bristol, Glasgow today, Edinburgh tomorrow, Ireland, Dublin. I go all over the place and make these videos, and it's fascinating to see kind of how early we are. And the vibes I get is like telling people about email in 1994, right? People thought that's useless. It won't catch on. Why would I want to do that? I'll just post, what, internet? Why do I need the internet? I don't need it. So nowadays, everyone's on the internet all the time, right?
I'm probably still back in 1994 as far as the internet goes.
That's good for you, but you can see, right, the adoption, and people can't. It's very difficult to see the technology that's coming around the corner.
I've learned more about Bitcoin in the last 15 minutes than I've ever learned in my life before. And I'll go away and have a wee think about that, and I might have a wee bit of a read about it and look at it.
Okay. Would you like me to send you some Bitcoin, by the way? Because I can send you some if you like. It'll just require downloading a Bitcoin wallet, and I can send you some. Entirely up to you, but I always offer that to people as well if they're interested. There's no pressure either way.
I just won't do something terrible to my computer or...
Well, no. Have you got a phone on you? Yeah, it would just be downloading a Bitcoin wallet, which is just like a string of digits which can receive Bitcoin because it's all internet based. And then I'd get out my phone, I'd send Bitcoin from my phone to your phone, and the whole thing would take like a minute, but it's entirely up to you.
No.
You're tempted? You're tempted?
I am tempted, yes, but there's obviously security issues.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Sure. No, lots of people are hesitant. Some people take it, some people don't. A lot of people, a little bit skeptical for that exact reason. But it's entirely up to you.
So why would you give away Bitcoin then?
Well, you see, I'm kind of made a bit of an impact on Bitcoin Twitter. People love to watch the videos of people receiving Bitcoin, and people send me money to give out to people on the streets. And you just happen to have been picked today, so it's up to you.
I'm okay. I would have security concerns.
Okay, but you're up for it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you open up your...
I'm going to regret this.
Well, I don't think you will. I think it'll be the opposite, but we'll see. So here we go. You've got the app. You've got the Lightning app. All I'm going to do is I'm going to hit send from my end. I'm going to scan your QR code. So if you hit receive and you show me that QR code that it's generated, I'm going to scan that there, and you can see my phone has picked that up. I'm going to send you 200,000 Satoshis, which there's worth $80 or about £60 of Bitcoin. Okay? So I'm going to hit done, and I'm going to hit pay, and it says it's sent my end. And did you get?
Yeah.
Okay, can you just show it to the camera? The little green screen. Oh, it's just gone. But you've got 200,000 sats there, which today is worth about £60, right? £60 worth of Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin goes the way that I and many others think it will, that could be worth like some serious money in the future. And I just kind of wanted to show you how easy it is to send and receive Bitcoin. That's your Bitcoin. You can do what you want with it. You can send it to another exchange, and you could sell it for pounds and spend it if you wanted to. What I would suggest is you hold it. You kind of treat it like a savings account, right? And then in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, you buy yourself a car or a holiday or something, right? So, so how do you feel?
Good. I mean, I look forward to seeing what happens to it.
Well, thanks for all that. That's a wee tutorial on Bitcoin.
You're very welcome. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Thank you.